So this is my first video, and it's gonna be a rant about people wearing band merch without knowing bands. And I'm not going off of a script, so my speaking will not be consistent, as I just gave an example of. But so I was talking with my family the other day about it, and my brother said it's okay for people to wear band shirts that they don't know just because it's trendy. And I hated that more than anything I've ever heard, because it's like, if school shootings were trendy, would you join in? Would it be okay? No. The answer is no. Yeah, and I'm gonna be giving reasons why. First of all, when it comes to bands that are huge, like Iron Maiden, Misfits, I see people wearing those shirts all the time, and you go up to them, you say, "Sick shirt, what's your favorite song?" They won't even know Last Caress or The Trooper. And it sucks because it also takes away the whole purpose of wearing the shirts and meeting other people that will be considered of the alternative subcultures like metal, punk, scene, goth, and emo. And yeah. And oh shit. And it just takes away the whole purpose of it. Also, another reason why is like, why would you go out and spend money on something you don't know? And the fact that they don't know it is sad, because 20 years ago, these were the biggest bands ever. These were like, everybody knew these bands, had at least heard of them, and probably heard a song. But now nobody knows them, but they're wearing the shirts now. Like, and you know what's shitty? Every trend is started by celebrities. And it sucks that this one was also started by celebrities, and the most prominent one would be Kendall Jenner, because Gary Holt actually took action against that. And I respect him for it. I even respect what he said. He wore that shirt that said "Kill the Kardashians," and I completely agree on that. I don't like them at all. And they're just fake and overdramatic and stupid. But also, the problem with calling yourselves these things but not knowing what they are. Like, people who call themselves punk but listen to like 21 Pilots and shit like that, and like All Time Low. Obviously I listen to those bands, I love those bands, but they're not punk. Those people have probably never heard of Dead Kennedys, never heard a song by the Misfits. And again, back to emo, they're also calling themselves the emos while listening to 21 Pilots and Melanie Martinez, but those aren't emo bands. They don't even know like the old bands like Hawthorne Heights and Thrice, and don't know My Chemical Romance's first album, which those bands aren't really emo themselves, because we can talk about the original emo and Midwest emo, like Rites of Spring, Mineral, Orchid, and bands a lot of people don't know, would have never known. And the fact that the people that call themselves punk and listen to 21 Pilots are the same people that call themselves punk, emo, and scene. Like, choose one. I mean, I think the whole labels are stupid, but like, because I just listen to everything. But yeah, so if you're gonna call yourself a metalhead and only listen to like metalcore, then really, yeah, there's a type of that. There's like different kinds of metalheads, like the black metal fan, or core kids, which is listen to mostly like metalcore and deathcore. But if you look like me and you're calling yourself a metalhead and you listen to only core, then you're pretty much just a scene kid. Especially if your favorite bands are Blood on the Dance Floor, Attack Attack, and Attila. That doesn't make you a metalhead, that makes you a scene kid. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And also people that call themselves goth and listen to New Year's Day and Black Veil Brides. What's wrong with you? Like, the death rock of the late 70s and early 80s, like, what about The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, Sisters of Mercy, and stuff like that. God, I'm using a lot of fucking filler words here. And like gothic metal, like Lacuna Coil and Typo Negative, and I think Moonspell is gothic metal. I have to check out on that. Not quite sure what genre they are. I haven't listened to them in a long time. But if you're gonna call yourselves these things, then know what they are, and don't call yourself modern interpretations of these things. Like, All Time Low is pop punk, not punk. You can listen to any other type of punk and call yourself punk, but pop punk, if you listen to pop punk, you're pop punk. That's a thing, apparently. And, yeah, and like, if you listen to 21 Pilots and call them emo, they're not. And this whole emo rap thing, there's no such thing as emo rap. Emo was punk, and then it only belongs to punk and indie, because post-hardcore is a mix of, it's an experimental mix of indie rock and hardcore punk. So it can go to either only the hardcore punk side or only the indie side. But yeah, 21 Pilots is an emo. They're rap rock. XXXTentacion, Lil Peep, Nothing Nowhere. Not emo rap. I think it's a different kind of rap. I think it's influenced a lot by emo, but it's not emo. It's not like, just because of the lyrics doesn't make it emo. It's not like we call depressive suicidal black metal emo black metal. That's not a thing. It's not like we call Slipknot emo because of their lyrics, or Taylor Swift. Slipknot's new metal, Taylor Swift's pop, country pop, and so yeah. I got distracted, my friend texted me. Oh god, what was I gonna fucking say? Yeah, so this whole emo rap thing, it's like the black metal stuff, it's called depressive suicidal black metal. Why don't we just call it depressive rap, not emo rap? It's not, that's not what it is. And like, the whole aesthetic thing too, these people are saying, like, they say, well, if you say you don't look emo though, they're like, yeah, but music matters too, but you don't listen to music, and vice versa. They'll say aesthetic matters too, but you can't just change the aesthetic that it was in like 2004 and 2001. Dyed hair doesn't make you punk or emo. It doesn't make sense to me. It won't. And so, also, wearing shirts of underground bands is another problem that I forgot to mention. Because that's like, if you're wearing, or like slightly underground that aren't like huge or anything, like say you're wearing a shirt of the thrash metal band Vector, but you don't even listen to the Big Four. It's like, what's wrong with you? Or like, maybe Saxon, or, say, again, okay, I'm not going to use Thrice, but Taking Back Sunday. Those are lesser known bands. Taking Back Sunday's not that much lesser known. But like, don't wear those shirts, especially if they're underground bands. So I think that's worse, because then you're misleading people even more, because now we know that a lot of people that wear the huge shirts, the huge band shirts, aren't really into the music. They're just doing it as a trend. But the what's the word? But I think I'm gonna go on the side of wearing shirts of underground bands being much worse, because if you don't even know the bigger bands, you probably don't know the underground bands. And yeah, I just can't explain it. It's sad that society does this, and we're wearing things that we don't know, and whenever I or another person is excited to meet another metalhead, punk, scene, goth, whatever, but they're like, wait, I didn't know this was a band, it really lets us down. It's sad. So that's the end of my first video. And go vote in the comments if you think wearing shirts of underground bands that you don't know is worse, or wearing shirts of popular bands that the person doesn't know is worse.